Hi friends, welcome to English Learning Stop. Today we are going to look at adverb clauses. You know what a clause is? I had discussed it in my previous lecture where noun clause was also discussed. A clause is something that has got a subject and a verb. You know this. To complete a sentence, you must have a subject and a verb. If something is an adverb clause, then it must modify verbs in a sentence, adjectives, and maybe other adverbs. Okay, we'll look at some examples, but that's just to tell you that it is an adverb clause. So see, it will modify the entire clause will modify verbs, adjectives and other adverbs in the whole sentence, and it's sort of a dependent clause because it will always rely on the independent clause to complete the sentence, or the subordinate clause. People might often say it as dependent and subordinate. It will always begin with a subordinating conjunction. Sometimes it might also happen that subordinating conjunction will come in the middle of the sentence. I already told you that subordinating conjunctions are after, why, wherever, though. I'm giving some of the most common ones we use. Once, provided that, and the list goes on and on. See, rather than, before, even if, because. So these are all your subordinating conjunctions we had learned previously in our noun clause lecture. If you haven't yet seen my noun clause lecture, I'll provide the link in my description box below. You can check out there. Let's move on to the few examples that will clarify the definition of adverb clause. Now look over here. Because he loves cooking, Mom bought an oven. I'll have another marker in my hand. You can see that it's starting with the subordinating conjunction. You have a subordinating conjunction over here. It might always start, like I told you in my definition, it might always start with a subordinating conjunction. Then you have got a verb over, subject over here, that is he. A verb over here, loves cooking. You got a verb, and this is your cooking is your direct object, right? So this whole part, this thing, because he loves cooking, is your adverb clause. So Mom bought an oven. Now what it is modifying? It is modifying the verb bought. This is your modifying verb. This thing is modifying. It modifies the verb, that is bought, because mom and oven, they are nouns, right? Mom and oven, they're nouns. And I told you it might modify the verb or the adjectives or the adverbs. So bought over here is your verb. I hope this is clear. Let's test it by asking the adverb question. Bought when? Mom bought an oven because he loves cooking. No, bought when is not the correct one. Bought where? Does the sentence tell you bought where? No. Bought why? Yes. Now you have got the reason. See, the subordinating conjunction why is coming over here. Bought why? Because he loves cooking. So this is clear. And they are always in four categories, and they are time, reason, contrast and condition. Let's see those. The first one, when she got home, she sent her a pizza. Okay, you know the independent clause is over here in the next part of her sentence. That is, she sent her a pizza. That means that it can stand alone. This is your independent clause, right? When she got home, you have a subordinating conjunction over here, you have got a subject over here, you have got a verb over here, and you have got a direct objective over here. So this is your adverb clause, right? So see, the subordinating conjunction is coming in our first part of a sentence. It is starting with the subordinating conjunction. Independent clause can stand alone, but this dependent clause could not stand alone. When she got home, what? So what did she do? When she got home, she sent her a pizza. Someone else sent her a pizza. So this is your adverb clause. Now I have repeated the sentences over here, the next two over here. I'll tell you why I have repeated them. Okay, see the next one. I want to tell you something before you leave. Now our adverb clause lies over here before you leave. Since the subordinating conjunction is over here and subject over here and the verb over here before you leave, I want to tell you something. This is independent clause. This whole sentence, this part is complete over here. It can stand alone, but this thing cannot stand alone. So this needs a support. To support, we have an independent clause attached over here, right? So this is your adverb clause and this is your independent clause. Now notice one thing. When the subordinating conjunctions are in the beginning, we will have a comma placed over here in the middle of the sentence, okay, when your part is complete. But what happens is, when your subordinating conjunction lies after the independent clause, you won't have a comma placed over here, as you can see. So this is what I wanted to clear you in these two sentences. Let's move on to the next one. Again, she went to bed, okay, after she finished her dinner. So your adverb clause lies over there. After subordinating conjunction, she, subject, finished verb, her dinner. That is a direct object. So she went to bed. What did she do? After she had completed her dinner, then she went to bed. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now let's move on to this one. I have repeated these ones over here. Now let's see. When you are talking in your future tense, you will always have a present tense. What I am trying to say, I'll clear you. When she gets home, she will send her a pizza. You're talking in the future, and when you are talking in the future, in the first part of the sentence, you will always have a present tense. When she gets home, okay? I hope I'm clear. Then, see, I repeated this one. Now, I've repeated the third one over here. I've just changed this tenses over here. She will go to bed. I'm talking in the future. After she finishes her dinner, okay, after she finishes. So this is your present tense. Whenever you are talking in your future tense, you cannot have a future tense in another part of the sentence, but you will have a present tense lying over there. Let's move on to the reason part. As I told you that adverb clauses are basically of four categories: time, reason, contrast, and conditions. Let's move to the reason part. We have two examples over here for the reason part. Because I was unwell, I went to school late. I went to school late because I was unwell. So see, your adverb clause lies in the second part, that is because I was unwell, right? You have the subject, you have the subordinating conjunction, you have the verb, and you have a direct object. I went to school late, and this is your independent clause. So see, there is a reason. Why did I join the school late? Because I was unwell. Okay, the next one. Since you are here, let's go for tea. Now, I don't understand. Native speakers usually use since in the beginning of a sentence. It can come in the second part, but mostly you will see the native speakers saying starting with since. Okay, so there is no valid reason why they use it in the beginning of a sentence. Anyway, since you are here, this is your adverb clause. Let's go for tea. This is your independent clause, right? So I hope reasons, the adverb clause category reason is clear to you. Let's move on to the contrast part. Although I was hungry, I served myself pizza. Okay, even though or although both are same. You see, you could even use even though. So you are having a contrast over here, that although I was hungry, I served myself. I wasn't hungry. Sorry, I was hungry. I served myself pizza. Right. So even though you weren't hungry or I wasn't hungry, I served myself a pizza. Right. So this is the contrast part. Let's move on to the last part, that is the condition part. Over here you have your adverb clause lying over here in the first part of the sentence. See, there are conditions placed over here. That is, the first one, I will be here if you call me. Okay, so I'll be here if you call me. Your adverb clause lies over here. If is the reason, if is the condition placed over here, that if you are going to call me, I'll be there. Okay, if you call me, I'll be there. I'll be here. You can't leave unless you have finished your work. So see the condition placed over here, unless you have finished your work, you are not supposed to leave. Adverb clause and your independent clause. This can stand alone in the sentence. So I hope my today's lecture is clear to you. And if you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll reply to them. Thanks a lot, guys.